profile. So hi everyone. I am Kelly Wenzel and I am your guide for our Busy Moms Meal Prep Workshop tonight. Joe, thank you for getting everyone together. This recording is great because if you aren't able to be on here right now while we're making the meals, you can go back and make them later. Or if you want to go recreate these meals later, you can always get this video and watch it along and remake all your meals. So there's a couple of things I always like to start with, and I told Joe and Crystal this already, but you're going to want a large bowl. Any bowl will work. And the reason we use this bowl is because, let me change the view here. Um, am I big on the screen or small on the screen for all
Big.
of you? Okay, because on mine, I'm tiny. So, all right. So on this one, the reason we're using this is because we want to use it as our guide to kind of hold the bags up. We don't want the bags to flip over and have things fall out. So you've already, if you've done the pre-work workshop instructions, you already have your meat in a bag. You've got your bags labeled, and so you're ready to roll with our meal workshop. So we'll give you a couple of tips along the way. One of them is I always take my Ziploc bags, my gallon-sized bags, and I fold the top over so that the steel part of it is kind of folded back. I don't know if you can see that. But my reason for doing that is because I want to make sure that if I slop something on the sides of it, I'm trying not to get it on the seal because I want my seal to be able to completely close. And I don't want anything that might obstruct that. Okay, so that's one thing. It also gives you a nice open mouth of the bag when you're working on it. So we would set this bag down inside, and I'm not actually prepping tonight, but I'm just going to talk you through the instructions, but we'll set it down inside the bowl. And that way, if it tips back and forth, we're not going to lose any of our ingredients out of the bag. And it allows you to be hands-free as you're getting more things opening and putting them in. So if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Just you can start to talk. You don't have to raise your hand or anything like that. And these meals are, we call them the busy mom meals. Everybody's busy. You know, we all hate that word, I'm sure, but it's a reality, right? We all are going in different directions quite often. And so these meals are easy to prep and they'll be easy to prepare. And that's the nice thing about them because on those busy nights, you'll be able to have those handy and ready to roll. So, another thing that I would mention about the bags, I will also double bag mine, and here's why. Um, you have your bag already labeled with whatever the meal is, but you can when you're finished prepping it, you can put it inside another gallon-sized bag. I do this because when I defrost them in my refrigerator, I don't, if I've somehow gotten a little pinhole leak or anything, I don't want it to start to leak all over my refrigerator. So that's why I do a second bag. You don't have to do that. Many people do not. It's just something that I've started doing. I don't even label the second bag. I just use it, kind of as a storage container for the original bag. So the other thing that I do is I do add the date that the meal was made. So like I would do 5/5/24 on my bag. And the reason for that is if for some reason it gets tucked underneath a bunch of stuff in your freezer, if you have a deep freezer especially, and you find it, then you know when you made this meal. The other thing you could do is put different letters on your bag. So for example, our first one is going to be the busy mom's busy day chili, and it's a crock pot or stovetop meal. So you could put a C/S, which means you can make this meal in a crock pot, or Instapot, obviously, or you can do it on the stovetop. So if you'd like to do that, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to start with our chili first. This one has 1 pound of ground beef or ground turkey um, already in your bag. And um, and so if you want to go ahead and put that in your big bowl, then we'll be ready to get started. All right. Very good, Joe. I see you folding that over. Nice work. And some people that meal prep often, you can go onto Amazon. They actually have these like clips. They look like a football end zone that you actually can tuck your bag up in it and it holds your bag in place. I just don't have those. I figured this is good enough. So, um, all right. So what we're going to need for this one is we're going to need 2 cans that we're going to add all this to the ground meat. We're going to need 2 cans of tomato soup, and we're just going to pour those right into the bag. And I'm just gonna kind of like I pause in between so that you have the time to actually do what I've like said to get and put in the bowl or in the bag. But you can talk or you can, you know, ask questions, whatever you'd like to do.
So what were you up to today, Kelly?
I was at a vendor event today. I set up at a place called Memory Makers Cafe, and it's a little cookie, cake, and little coffee shop in Florence, Kentucky. So it was nice. I met so many new people, and it was a quieter event. But I had a delicious orange dreamsicle frappe because you know how I love sweets. So, and I was talking about you today, Joe, because I talked about how you made the cheesecake squares with the cappuccino cheese ball.
Those are
Remember
my
when you-
favorite.
I know, right? Yeah, I have one box of that left.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't
All
even
right,
know. I
I've
need to
got
go.
my soup in there.
All right, Crystal, how you doing?
Good. I got my soups in there.
Perfect. Okay, now we're going to do a can of diced tomatoes, and we're not going to drain it. We're going to add that whole thing. It should have been 14.5 ounce can. And I know sometimes the cans are a little off on the measurements these days, but just go ahead and pour that straight into the chili and the ground beef or turkey.
I should have opened my cans first.
I know that is the tricky part. But you know, you kind of learn all those things as you do these. The more you do the preps, the faster and easier like things come up together. Like you'll be like, oh, I want to already chop these things, or oh, I want to do that. So
Did you do that, Crystal? Did you open your cans?
Yeah, because I was gonna open them beforehand, but well, most of them I have flip tabs, so it's not so bad. But I forgot some aren't, so I was like, oh no, I gotta open it.
All
that's
right,
okay.
done.
All right. So one thing I will tell you about your Making Magic chicken seasoning. Make sure the lid's on tight and then shake it up real good so that you blend all your seasonings again. Because sometimes, because what happens when it sits, the bigger pieces will fall to the bottom. So we want to reshake those up so that they're all blended together again. And that's anytime you're using your seasonings. Okay. Does that make sense?
Are we putting Making Magic in there?
We're going to do one more tablespoon of magic. Yes, we are doing that.
Okay, I didn't put any seasoning in my beef.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
fine. You
didn't
didn't
either.
have to. You didn't have
Okay,
to.
now
Yeah,
I'm supposed to put the Making Magic chicken in the beef,
we're
not the
we're doing
taco seasoning.
well, we're gonna do all of it. So we're doing
Oh,
1 tablespoon of Making Magic chicken seasoning, and then we're gonna go into the mom's favorite taco seasoning, and we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of that.
got it. Okay, sorry, I'm not listening to instructions.
No, that's all right. You were just a little asking ahead of me. That's all. Yeah. So the Make It Magic chicken blend, that seasoning blend is our seasoned salt. So that gets you the salt into the ground beef. It's the garlic, and it's onion. So it's everything that you would like to put probably in your meat when you're cooking that up anyway. And if you measure it out, Joe, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
There are lines on the lid, I believe. Look in the lid. Are there lines there in that
Mm,
one?
not well, not really.
Okay, then that's not the one. The little ones have a line in it, the tiny ones, and so you can do a measurement with that one. But and
It
you definitely
has it has no, not really, no.
okay,
I was gonna
right.
say not in the big ones that I have, so
Yeah, I was wondering. It's we have these little mini shakers, and I think those are the ones that actually have like a measuring line. In the regular size jars, These jars, if you have like a
Oh.
regular size, this lid is 2 tablespoons. So anytime you have a jar that's like the regular size jar, the lid is equals 2 tablespoons. And then the mini, the lid equals, I think, 1 tablespoon. So
All right, sorry. I feel like that took a long time. I'm done now.
no, you're fine. So we've got the Makin Magic chicken seasoning in, the 4 tablespoons of mom's favorite taco seasoning in. And now the only other thing we have to add to this soup, because you've already got your meat in the bag, is you're going to do 3 cans of beans, any choice that you like. If your family hates beans and you don't want to put
Yeah.
beans in it, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. All right. You do want to rinse your beans though, so make sure that you do that. So, and Erin is just popping in.
Hi, Aaron.
There she goes. She might be able to hear you now. Hi, Erin. Um, Yeah, so if you want to rinse your beans, and then we're just going to throw those into the bag. Now, when you're getting ready to seal the bag up, you want to get as much air out as possible. But before we do that, let me show you how I would do it. Seal it and let there still be air in the bag. And then go ahead and shake and kind of mush together all of the ingredients. Do it over top of your bowl that I suggested you use. Okay. So what I'm saying, see how Crystal's doing it? Crystal, you're doing a great job. She's just getting everything mixed together. Okay. Then what I want you to do, after you've mixed it all together, you're gonna open it back up and you want to get as much air out of your bag as possible. You want the air out of your bag because that's the enemy in the freezer. That's where you get your freezer burn, is the extra air in the bag. Okay. So again, just a little, you can maybe put it on its side and hold it up a little bit so that you can get as much air out. But you want to get as much air out before you seal. And then if you are like me and you want to add another bag on the outside as a protector, you can do that. And we're finished with meal 1. So Erin, we just did the mom's busy day taco or busy day chili, sorry. And that's the one that if you had your brown ground beef or ground turkey, or you could do chicken if you wanted that. And then we just mixed in the 2 cans of tomato soup, a can of diced tomatoes with the juice. And then we also did the seasonings. And I said we always want to shake the seasonings before you start to use those, because that way you get all the seasonings blended back together again, because they'll settle out as they sit. So, and then right now what Joe is doing is she's adding her cans of beans into the bag.
Apparently, I'm really slow.
No, you're not. No, you're
We
not.
just don't like beans, so we don't use beans.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, and then I was only going to put 2 cans of beans, and then I accidentally opened 3 cans of beans, and now I'm like,
So now you're getting 3 cans of beans.
I guess now I'm getting 3 cans of beans.
Yep, there you go.
You'll have lots of protein.
Yes, she will. Hi, Erin.
Hi, I was out
And
of town this weekend, so I am
oh,
not prepared for tonight, but I'm going to watch
no worries.
and
Yeah.
I'll watch the
Oh,
recording.
yeah, I am recording it. And then what I'll do is I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I always just do it as unlisted, but I'll give the unlisted link to Joe and she'll send it out to all of you. And then you can have it whenever you need it, if you want to
Okay,
go back and
perfect.
rewatch. So, well, did you get to go someplace fun?
I went to Paducah, Kentucky to see my sister.
Oh, that's
So yes,
cool. That's awesome. It's always nice for some sis time. I'm going to see my sister next week, so
nice.
it'll be fun. Yeah, yeah. All right. So Joe is just what she's doing is she's just getting a good mix up there on all of her ingredients, and then she's going to get the air out, put those aside, and we're ready for the Santa Fe tacos next. That'll be our next meal.
Is there a
And this
trick to
one,
getting all the air out?
no, you just kind of do the best that you can. What I'll do is I'll take it out of the bowl and with my bag that's empty. I will set it kind of on its side, Joe, like this, and then have it open.
Oh,
So
I
I'll
think
have
I
it,
did good.
yeah. And then if you lay it flat, now lay it flat,
Okay.
okay? And then because when you put it in the freezer, you're gonna usually lay your meals flat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Got it?
I think I like the idea of adding a second bag.
Yeah, I did too. And like I said, it's not something you have to do, but it's just a peace of mind that if something punctures it, you're not having something leak, in your fridge when you defrost or as it's freezing. So,
Okay.
all
All
right.
right.
So we're ready
Meal
for
one
we're ready for
done.
tacos. Yes, we are ready for tacos, and here we go. Okay, so this one has 2 pounds of ground beef or ground turkey that you already browned, and you have that in your bag already.
Got it.
Okay, and then this one we're gonna do is we'll add 2 cans of the cheddar soup. So this is kind of a thick soup, so you'll want it like a spatula to get that out of, once you have it open, and you're gonna put that right in to the taco meat.
My poor husband could not find the Mexican corn.
Sometimes it's really tricky. That's hit or miss, I will tell you. So, and you could always, if you couldn't find that, you can always do a substitution. The nice thing about our meal preps is that, if your family doesn't like a particular thing, like Crystal's family doesn't like beans, so they just omitted them altogether. Or if there was a style of bean that she liked better than what we were saying you needed, you can totally just replace it and do what makes it good for your family. And that's the reason I love these meals so much because some of the ones that are the deliveries to your door, everything just comes in it, and you're like, well, I guess that's how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be adding those things to it because that's what's part of the meal. Or you're wasting it. So, all right. So how we doing with that soup?
Almost there.
All right. And everybody kind of works at their own pace with these, so never feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not keeping up with everyone. It's not a big deal. That's why I print the instructions off, or I make the instructions for everyone. So that way, if you would have to go back to a meal, you can always go back and see, what you need to do. So, all
I don't
right.
have
So
a
once,
tiny spatula, so I'm like
yeah,
just doing the best I can.
yeah. And then once you're finished with the 2 cans of soup, you're going to put 1 can of the Mexican corn into the bag.
I couldn't even find any at the store. So I was
Yeah,
like, I was
yeah.
gonna try another store and I forgot to go, but I couldn't even find any at Walmart.
Well, you know what? It
There's-
must. I feel like sometimes there's in season. Oh, but today is Cinco de Mayo too. Maybe everybody bought it up. I didn't even think about that.
Couldn't you just add
Yeah.
green chilies to a can of corn?
Yes, you can.
I mean, I don't
That's
even
what
know
I
what
was gonna say.
Mexican
Oh,
corn
well.
is, so
Yeah,
that's
you
what I'm
could probably.
thinking.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say you could do a can of Rotel.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that Rotel
Oh, I have Rotel. Should I
chilies.
put a can of
I was
Rotel in
gonna
there?
say I have the diced tomatoes with green chilies. Would that work?
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I don't see why you couldn't do that. I mean, because especially too, you notice here it says you need 1 can of drained diced tomatoes for this anyway. So you could just use that
Oh, well,
with the
yeah.
chilies in it. Yeah, and you're good to go. So great tip though. I like that.
I've, I've I've heard of it.
Well,
I don't
I
think I've
just
ever
opened
seen
the
Mexican
corn. Should I
corn
put the
though.
corn
So
in
it's,
there too?
Yeah, go ahead and put the corn in.
Okay.
Yeah. So you still want the corn. So this is going to make like a taco meat that you can use in tacos, burritos, taco salads, if you're doing like nacho grandes. And again, this one you could make this in the crock pot or on the stovetop when you're warming it back up. And I didn't really put a big long instruction on this because it really is just warming the meat to use for however you're going to use it. So, okay. So Crystal and Joe, when you have the corn in there, then you're going to do 1 tablespoon of the Makin Magic chicken seasoning and 1 of mom's favorite taco seasoning. Okay. And then we just have those tomatoes, and then we're done with this meal too. So Joe, do you get to, oh, not Joe, Aaron, do you get to see your sister very often or not so often? You know where Paducah is.
not as often as I would like. Thankfully, it's
Yeah.
only about a 4.5 to 5 hour drive.
Oh,
So
that's good.
not horrible, but
Yeah.
just I don't,
Still,
life.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But
I get it. Get it. Yeah. All right, Joe and Crystal. If you did the diced tomatoes with chilies in it, then you really don't probably need to add more tomatoes, but if you do, that's fine. I would just do, like, if you're doing the chilies with the tomatoes in there, then just only do that. Okay, and then you're gonna leave the air in the bag, seal it, leave the air in, mix it like Joe's doing, and then don't forget to get your air back out. And then you're finished with meal number two.
It's nice to do this though too, because then you see how other people make things instead of
Yes, I know. And I don't ever consider myself a good cook. So these meals have really made a difference for me. My husband probably will tell you the same thing, you know. But it definitely makes it a lot easier and yeah.
I
And
never
it, like
would
I
have
said,
thought to put cheese sauce in there.
no, right? Isn't that kind of weird? But it's yeah, turns out really good. Just be careful when you're mixing, even though you have it sealed, just be real careful that you're over the bowl, you know, and not
Oh,
too vigorously mixing. Okay. So I mean, you want to mix it all up real good, but you don't want to be like flip, you know, in case something pops open, then you got it all on you. So, Joe, I like how you're
I
doing
might have
that, how
been
you squeezing out the air. That's good.
doing a little vigorously.
You were doing pretty vigorously, but it was all right. That was a little harder because with that cheese, that cheddar soup, because it's so thick, it is kind of harder to get that one mixed. So, yeah. All right. So, Crystal, which do you have any idea which one is going to be your first meal that you do?
the kids wanted chili tonight, but I was like, I'm not gonna be able to cook it
You get
tonight.
it done that
So
quick.
I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'll have to wait on that, but
That's
that
sweet that
might
they
be
already
the
wanted
next
chili.
one we make.
I like it. I
Mm.
like it. Joe, how about you? Do you know which one you're going to have first?
I want to try the Santa Fe tacos.
I know. But that might be your meal tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like chili is like a winter food, and we're like
Yeah,
in
but
springtime.
you know what? It's a perfect one, especially like if you have a rainy day. It is such a great one for like just a cloudy, gloomy, icky day. And kids love chili. That's the thing. The goal was to have some meals that kids would really like. So, you know, you might be surprised.
Abby loves chili, so that's
See,
good.
so any time of the year. All right. So, ladies, are we okay to move on to the next meal?
Yep.
All right. If you need a minute to kind of clean up stuff and throw things away or move anything out of the way, feel free to do it and then we'll get started.
Give me a sec.
Okay, sounds good. Sometimes it's nice to be able to get things out of the way.
I already told my kids, I'm like, these are gonna be the meals all week.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. Well, and like I said, our May 19th one is Burger Mania. Oh, I don't know if I told you the number or what it is. And we're doing 5 different burger recipes on May 19th. So we'll prep 5 different burgers. And then in June, it's going to be June 9th, and it's going to be outdoor griddle cooking. So if you have a Blackstone, or if you don't have it, you can still do it on your stovetop. So we do them monthly. So if you have fun with these, if you love these recipes and you're like, oh, I totally could see doing this over and over again, talk to Joe. She'll let you know the details and keep you up to posted on all of it. So all right, so our next one is going to be our savory grilled magic chicken. So you should probably already have your chicken in your bag. If you did not, it's all right, put it in now. And this one we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of oil, whether it's avocado oil, regular oil, or olive oil. You'll want 1 tablespoon of oil put into the bag with the chicken.
Got it. I
All
still
right.
have some tastefully
I
simple
saw that.
avocado oil
I saw
left.
that. I was like,
I wish
envious.
they still sold it.
Well, you know what? I think we were going to have to raise the price on that. And they felt like we would outprice ourselves, especially since it's cheaper at a lot of places in the stores now. So,
Right.
so that's why what they make decisions like that when they get rid of something like that. But you know, it ended up when that and the balsamic or aged balsamic oil or aged vinegar, when those two left our lineup, it made everything in our lineup. All our food products are made in the United States now because those
Right. Isn't
two,
that
yeah,
awesome?
yeah, because those two were the only ones that were out of the United States. So, all right, so now you're going to put 2 tablespoons of your Makin Magic chicken seasoning into your bag with your chicken and your olive oil or avocado oil. Then next, we're going to put 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. If you have light soy sauce or if you use like a gluten-free one, it's fine. Whatever soy you used, you'll want 2 tablespoons of that.
Were we supposed to add salt and pepper to this as well?
No, because if you think about it, you're gonna have a lot of pop of flavor. You're gonna have soy sauce in this, you're gonna have lime juice in it, and then the Makin Magic chicken seasoning, remember, has onion, garlic, and seasoned salt all blended together. So
True, true.
you've got a lot of flavor there. And you use 2 tablespoons of it. So you got a very good pop of flavor with that. That's a great question. And do all of you know the trick about limes and how to get as much juice out of them as possible?
I bought my
No?
first lime today, so I've never even cut a lime.
Hey, how exciting. All right. Well, there are 2 tricks that you can do. One is you can just take your lime and with the palm of your hand, have it on the table and just roll or on your counter and just roll it back and forth with a little bit of pressure. And you're going to release the juices that are in your lime. Okay. So you're going to get more juice out of the lime. The other way you can do it, and I've not done this, but somebody said you can put it in the microwave. Um, for like just a few seconds, like maybe 10 seconds. You just put your lime in there and then it softens it all up. I haven't tried that one, so I don't know that rule. So, or for sure that that's a good one to use. I don't want your lime to explode in your microwave. So,
I've
but
done that with lemons.
you have? Okay. And it works
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
How about
probably not any better than
the
rolling it
rolling it?
on
Yeah.
the counter, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I
How
also
long
have
do
one of
you,
those juicer squeezer things that I got from Pampered Chef
yeah, I saw
that,
that today when I was at my event. Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
work so well. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
but in the
Definitely.
microwave, probably maybe like 5 to 7 seconds, I think.
5 to 7. Okay. Yeah.
You
So just
know,
keep an eye if you were doing it.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron. Because I was like,
you're
I have
welcome.
not tried it. I'm like, I don't think it's more than 10 seconds. So thank you for the tip.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I don't know. I think it would take a lot longer for it to explode, but I
Yeah.
don't want to test that theory.
I don't
So,
think I want to either.
you know,
Yeah. So then, Crystal and Joe, all you're going to do is cut your lime in half. Just squeeze that in. You can just do half of it, or if you have a smaller lime, you could do the whole thing. I don't know about you, but it's something that's very refreshing. The other way to use your other half of your lime is just slice it and put it into water. Instead of a lemon in your water, a lime is very refreshing as well. So, and then we're finished with meal number 3. And this is a grill meal. It can obviously be done on stovetop, but if when you're grilling, this is a great one for those grill nights that you're cooking on.
I grow a lot in the summer, so
Yes. And what states are you, Aaron and Crystal, what states are you coming from? Or are you in?
I'm in Columbia, Missouri.
Okay,
I'm in
Missouri. Okay.
Indiana.
Okay. And Joe and I are
Where?
both in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Joe's about are you 45 minutes north of me, Joe? About 35, 40?
Yeah, I'm in Lebanon.
Yeah. And I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. So,
Okay.
yeah. That's cool to like when you were Aaron, when you were saying that you were driving like about 4 to 4.5 hours, I was like, I wonder where she is. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. And with this one, I usually try to lay it like to get all your air out. I lay it flat on the table and just kind of let those chicken breasts, my friend always says, zhuzh it all up. So just mix everything, kind of like squeeze the bag around and make sure all the chicken breasts have some seasoning on them. And then just kind of lay it flat on the table and get your air out that way. So. And so, Joe, I know you said like the first, you were like, oh, it took me forever that meal, but you see how some of them go together very quickly. And it's like, oh, well, that meal's already finished, so
Is
that's
that the
kind of
whole
why.
chicken breast in there, or did you chop it up?
I just had them put chicken breasts in a bag,
Oh, okay.
but they might have
All right.
sliced them depending on, usually it's I believe it was 2 pounds it was it 2 pounds of chicken, ladies, or a pound and a half?
It just
I
said
got
3 to 4 chicken breasts. So,
Okay.
Okay.
and I
And you
buy
could,
them from, I buy packs from Sam's Club. So they
yeah,
only had 2 in each. So I did 4 because I have a family of 4.
yeah. And you could always slice them though, Erin. That's a great question. If you wanted to be able to serve more people or have them in smaller, like for grilling purposes,
Well,
if you like
to
a smaller,
meal prep too, it's
yeah,
like, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess, because if you just cook them whole, but slice them afterwards. But I don't know. Just, just wondering.
yeah. You can do either way. For me, it's my husband and myself. So we both, like I said, are pretty busy on our own things that we're doing.
Right.
I like a smaller chicken breast, so sometimes I will cut them down and make it so that they're more like chicken tenderloins, or not
Mm-hmm.
tenderloins, but yeah, like the chicken strips, the chicken tenders. Um, so that's how I kind of do it. So, all
I
right, we're
wish,
moving. Go ahead.
sorry, I wish I had bought like tenderloins because these are like huge.
Yeah. And so what Aaron is saying is like you could cut those. Probably now that they have all the stuff on them, it's probably would be kind of gooey to pull them out and cut them. But you could, you know,
Well, before you
in
throw
the
them on
in
the
the
grill,
future.
or if that's what
Yeah,
you're going to
just
do with
slice
them,
them. Yeah,
just slice
slice
them
them
up like
before.
fajita style or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a great idea, Erin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great idea.
And it's, you're marinating them, they're gonna have great flavor, and then just
Mm-hmm.
slice them down and like you said, fajita would be great. So
Should I slice them now or before I cook them when they're frozen?
I'd probably wait till
I would
before
wait.
you cook them now, or before you cook
Yeah.
them, and like when they're just a little bit defrosted, so not
Mhm.
rock hard, but a little bit, it'll be easier
Yeah.
to slice too.
Yeah, I agree.
Great idea. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that's why I love these workshops, because people will talk to each other throughout. It's like, oh, this is how I would do it. And then they're like, oh, that's a great idea. So, yeah. All right, we're going to be moving on into the cheesy tater tots. And this seems so like weird to me, like of how this one goes together, but it's delicious. So it's yummy, yummy. Because we're
My
going to
daughter
actually,
would like that because she likes tater tot casserole. So
yeah,
man, I think
yeah,
this is probably be something she would like.
yes. And this one is an oven meal. You're gonna bake it in the oven. So if you are writing a little code, like I was suggesting, you can just put O and then,
Oh,
don't forget
okay.
the date, you know. So like I just say, like if it's a grill meal, just put a G for grill. So when you're pulling it out, you're like, oh, that's, this week it's freezing cold. I don't want to be grilling out. So we're not going to do the grill meal, or it's supposed to rain every day this week. I don't really want to make that. Um, but if you're like, oh, we need some crock pot meals because nobody's going to be home to, get this going.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all nice ways to be able to do that. And then I also mentioned to Aaron that if you want to put the date that you made the meals, so 5
Okay.
5 24, that way if you're like, let's say you have a deep freeze, if it gets stuck to the bottom, underneath some things and you forget you have it, at least you'll know when you made the meal. So
Right.
yeah. All right. So this next one is going to be the cheesy tater tots. And what we're going to be adding is we're going to first add 1 cup of sour cream and then 1 cup of half and half into the bag.
How many?
Crystal, who's on your shirt?
This is Brantley Gilbert.
Okay. I know the guy. I didn't know the guy.
Joe, what were you going to ask me?
How many ounces of tater tots should be in the bag?
15 ounces,
Okay.
4.5
Because
cups. But before you
my
put those
tater,
in, don't put them in yet, Joe. Don't put them in yet. Okay. What I want you to do is, because you're getting ahead of me, I want you to put your sour cream, your half and half, and the seasoning in first, and then I want you to kind of stir that together so it's a little easier to mix up, and then put your tater tots in. Okay. I saw you
got it.
open it. I was like, wait, wait, wait. So we're gonna put the tater tots in after you mix those three first ingredients together, because then you've got a nice blend of that already blended.
Got it.
Otherwise, your seasonings end up just like on a couple of the tater, it'll be a little harder. So if that's all mixed together first, then you put the tater tots in and we stir that up, then it's good. And that's the part I know that seems weird, is like having the tater tots mixed in with all of this, the liquidy things, and then you freeze it. But it really does work, and it's good. So
So this would be a side dish.
it could be, yeah. Or yeah, have a chicken breast and do this. Actually, one of the ladies on our team, she did this as their dinner, but then you're right. I think she had some shredded chicken that she did. I don't think she mixed it in with this. So yeah, it's more of a side.
Okay. Yeah.
Kelly, did
Yes.
you tell me how much seasonings to put in yet?
2 tablespoons of the Makin magic.
Okay, sorry.
No, no worries. I did not even say it. I hadn't said it yet.
I'm sorry. I keep yawning. Man,
That's all right. You had a weekend.
I have had a weekend.
Yeah.
My
This
sister
is
is an artist and she does glass and resin art. And so she
wow.
participates in the farmers market there in Paducah. And so
Okay.
we got up early yesterday morning and went and did that and set up and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then I me and my daughter and my new granddaughter went in Friday and then come home today. So it's just a lot of driving in a
Yeah.
short amount of time and
Yeah. A short
ugh.
visit. Yeah. 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 I totally get it. I think it's nice that you even hopped on. That was very sweet of you.
Well, I was thinking 7 o'clock, but now that you guys said when you said you guys were in Ohio, it was probably 7 o'clock Eastern, and
Like
I
Eastern time.
totally
Yep.
went over my
Yep.
head. So I'm thinking I got time still, and then
Yep. Yep. And that's what Joe was like. Ooh, I told everybody, but I bet they're thinking, yeah. So
yeah.
So
So
once you have Crystal and Joe, once you have those liquids all mixed together with your seasonings, then you can put your potatoes in and your 1 cup of the shredded cheddar. It's cheddar jack cheese. So you'll
mm,
put all that into the bag and then mix it all together. And then you're finished with this meal.
I'm not a huge fan of tater tots, but this actually sounds kind of good.
Yeah, I hope you love it. You'll have to let Joe know or let me know, like, through her, or if we're on a meal workshop again together, you can be like,
Right.
"Hey, there's tater tots. We liked those a lot."
Right.
So, and this one, you're gonna thaw these, and you're gonna preheat the oven. You're gonna bake this at 350. You're gonna spoon it into a greased, like
Mm.
1.5 quart baking casserole, and you bake uncovered for 35 to 45 minutes, and you stir about halfway through. So.
Okay.
If you use your crock pot, this could be a crock pot meal or an oven. Okay. So if you're doing it in the crock pot, you actually leave the whole thing frozen and you put it on low for 3 to 4 hours. And just make sure you you know,
Mm.
spray the crock pot first before you put this in so you don't get
Okay.
sticking on the bottom. So
350 for how many minutes?
350 for 35 to 45 minutes. And it's on your instruction sheet. So just keep these instruction sheets and it tells you like here in the corner where or how long to bake it for.
I
Thank
printed
you.
them out so I could write my notes on them.
There you go. And some people even take and like they'll print this off and like they'll tape these to the outside. They'll cut them apart and tape it to the outside of the bag. So like when you go to pull it out, like let's say you're not the one cooking that night, maybe somebody in your household is making dinner, they have the instructions right there and they know what to do. So
That's a good idea too. All
Yeah.
right, I keep dropping my phone, guys.
you're fine. You're fine.
I just
As
made
long
a
as it
thing.
doesn't, as long as it doesn't drop into your bag, you're all good.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Because then we're gonna lose you.
Explain that to your cell phone provider.
Yes. That would not be so good. Mm. Joe, did you say you just made a mess?
I did.
What you do?
Okay.
Well, I was pouring the cheese in my cup holder, and I just got cheese all over the counter.
Uh, well, it's better than the sour cream and the half and half.
I think I'm more excited to try this. This looks amazing.
I know, right?
Oh.
You could always throw some tater tot, or once you bake it, throw some bacon bits on top of it. If you want to do that.
Mm.
So,
I'd add more cheese too.
well, you can add more cheese now if you want. Or you mean just on top after you're baking it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, Crystal, they want chili. Joe wants to do the Santa Fe tacos. I can't wait to hear. I always say put the whatever ones you're not going to eat right away, like if you're not eating these all this week, and just throw those in your freezer and just make sure you leave one out so that you're always making one right away so that your family gets to enjoy them, without like, oh, I forgot all about those meals.
My kids
Mhm.
like tacos too, so I'm sure tacos will
Yeah.
be up there too.
And the nice thing is you're going to have the seasonings left. You have a large jar. What I would suggest is I batch cook quite a bit, and you can batch cook with both of these products. So, like, I do 4 pounds of meat in the crock pot at a time with a lot of times I'll do chicken for my mom's favorite taco meat. I like ground beef too, but I just a lot of times will make chicken taco chicken. And the reason for that is that I shred it and I have a casserole that I like to make with just some rice, our corn black bean salsa, 2 cups of the chicken, and then you bake that in the microwave for 5 minutes, pull it out, put some cheese on top, and then put it in for another 4 minutes, and you got dinner made. So I'll batch cook, and then once it cools a little bit, I'll shred it and put 2 cups per quart size bag. And you get about 5 bags,
Mhm.
4 to 5 bags of meat out of it. And then you have it for those really busy nights. You just pull that out and say, hey, we're going to make tacos tonight. We already got the meat browned. It's already made. Here we go. And you're good to go. The same is true with mom's favorite, or with magic chicken. The Makin magic chicken doesn't have to just be for chicken. You can do it for beef. You can do it for pork. Um, I shred it more often than cube it, but you can definitely just cube it as well if you still like if you've cooled it down, and then you can just slice pieces of chicken off and make it that way as well. So the only thing I will tell you is I usually will save a little bit of the broth. Like I'll either use the chicken broth, like low sodium chicken broth, or I'll just even do just water when I'm doing it in the crock pot. And I'll keep a little bit of that juice and just put a tiny bit in each bag so it doesn't dry out the meat. So
Mhm.
so, but if you're doing ground beef, like you really don't need to do that. But like I just do it for the chicken. So that's just my heads up piece of data if you want it. So
When I got my spices, I did the Making Magic Chicken, and I did my
yeah.
chicken in the instant pot with
Yes.
the liquid and the seasoning, and it turned out really good. And then, of course, shredded it afterwards.
Yep.
Then had
That's
to
awesome.
portion it out and freeze it because
Yep.
that's a lot of chicken.
That is a lot of chicken.
And
Yeah.
there's only
Yeah.
2 adults and a 3.5-year-old that live here, so it's like, yeah, no,
Yeah. You don't want to waste it. So
no, exactly.
yeah. So, but yeah, and so with that Making Magic chicken jar, you get about because you'll use 2 capfuls when you do a batch cook like what Aaron did, um, and you'll get about 20 pounds of meat out of that one. And with the mom's favorite taco seasoning, it suggests that you use 3 capfuls, so obviously you get less, fewer pounds of meat,
Hmm.
but I think it's still about 13 to 15 pounds of meat that you're going to get out of the lifetime of that jar. So that's
That's
pretty
not
good.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Thank
can
you for
make
the
dip.
number of my
You can make dip with both of those as well, just by mixing sour cream and mayonnaise. So half a cup of sour cream, half a cup of mayo, and then 2 tablespoons of your seasoning mixed in, and it makes a nice dip
Okay,
for like crackers and
good
things
to
like
know.
that.
We have a
All right,
cookout
so
coming up next week, so that
yeah,
sounds decent.
definitely. Yeah. So, ladies, we're going to be moving on. If you're ready, we're going to move on to bruschetta chicken bake. It's our last one. And so it's not even 8 o'clock and we're on the last meal already. So
Cool.
pretty cool, huh? Joe, do you have a question for us or a
No, I'm
comment?
just
No,
sniffing. I'm sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. Crystal, are you all good?
Yep.
All right. So this one, you did want to do 1.5 pounds of chicken, of boneless, skinless chicken breast, and you want to have it cubed if you didn't do that already. And we are going to season this with salt and pepper. Okay. So, not too much because we are still going to be using the Making Magic chicken seasoning.
For the phone, this should be a white wire set headset. There's one out in the garage. I don't know if it'll work or not. There's a headset, somebody's headset. I don't know if I have enough salt.
Well, you know what? Even if you're a little low on the salt, don't worry because you know you've got the Make a Magic chicken seasoning. It does have the seasoned salt in there. But so we're just gonna just slightly salt and pepper, not too much because we don't want to over season anything. Okay, once you put your tablespoon of Make a Magic chicken seasoning in that bag with the chicken, seal that bag and put it aside. And we're done with that bag for the time being. Now, this one is an oven meal, so if you're going to put the labels on, put an O for oven meal. And we're going to need 2 quart-sized bags next for the rest of what we're going to be doing here. I feel like my car, I came out of my event today and the car was like covered in a green, like green pollen over everything. So I know Joe's like, oh, my nose is driving me, she's sniffing. I'm like, I totally can relate because there was like pollen everywhere. It's nuts.
Do we
All
need to get
right.
all the air out of the bruschetta?
Is that the chicken?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, get as much air out of that. You're done with that bag. So you want to have all your air out of that bag. You're not going to open that again.
Okay.
And then just put that one aside and then get 2 quart-sized bags because we're going to do
Okay,
2 different
got it.
things. Okay, so in the
I got
first
it.
quart-sized bag, yep, you're going to put 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. And then you're going to get the air out of that and seal it, like seal it up and put that off to the side. And then in the next one, you're going to do your can of diced tomatoes that should have the basil, garlic, oregano, or you could do like the diced Italian tomatoes, and you're not going to drain them. We're going to just put them in, we're going to leave it with the liquid, and we're going to put all that in the second quart-sized bag. And then again, squeeze, get as much air out as possible, and close that bag up.
So it's just gonna be the tomatoes and what?
Just the tomatoes, and then just don't drain them. Just make sure the juice is still there. This one is one of my very favorite meals. And I have made this, like, if I've had friends come over, this is like a dish that I make because it's so easy to put together. It's got such a great flavor. And people think, wow, she really went to a lot of effort to make an amazing meal. And it's like, it's so simple to put together. So, and this one bakes at 400, and you're going to put it in a 9 by 13 or yeah, 13 by 9, 9 by 13 pan. And you just spray it before you put all this in. And so the last thing that you'll do once you have the air out of those 3 bags is you're going to slide all 3 of them down into another gallon size bag. Okay. And take your seasonings from you take your stuffing packet and put that in the bag as well. Does that make sense? And if you didn't want to put your stuffing in the freezer, you don't have to, but I just do it to keep the whole meal together so I don't accidentally use the stuffing for something else and then go, ah, I can't make that dish. I don't have the stuffing handy. So
That's a good idea.
yeah, you don't even need to open it. You just slide the pouch right in there. Because what'll happen is when you are making this, the first thing you'll do is you'll put your seasoned chicken down first, then you'll put the cheese on top, and then in a large bowl, you're going to combine the tomatoes with the stuffing mix and water. And the water is, I needed to, you know what? I need to find, let me find that recipe because it looks like I forgot to put how much water you need. Let me pull it up real quick so I can tell you and you can write it on your order or on your recipes. Give me 1 second. I realized I didn't put that in there. Sorry about that, ladies. Okay, here we go. I'll have it pulled up in just a minute.
Like that? Put everything in there?
Yep, yep, yep. And then I'm gonna have you put on your piece of paper if you have it handy. Um, for this recipe, you're gonna be doing half a cup of water. So when you're at the directions part of it, where it says in a large bowl, combine tomatoes, stuffing mix, and water off to the side, put half cup. Okay, so you know that's half cup of water. And then you'll just, once that's all softened up, you'll just put that over top. Once it's moist, you'll put that over top of the cheese. And then you'll just go ahead and bake it, and that's it. So it's super simple. So you do need a half a cup of water. And ladies, it is 7:58 and we have 5 meals prepped. Congratulations.
Yeah, a lot easier than anticipated.
All right, see?
That's good.
Don't you feel like you're a pro now?
This was cool.
I know, right? Now I would love you got to let Joe know what you think of the meals so that she can let me know.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
And I always say too, if you're a person who takes pictures of your food, take a picture of it and make sure that you tag Joe if you put it out on, a lot of people put pictures on
Right.
Facebook, so tag Joe in the picture like, oh, this is my tastefully simple meal tonight, thanks to,
Oh gosh, yeah. Good
yeah,
idea.
yeah, and then that way she can see what you made, so yeah. And again, once you've made the meals and or if you've tried them, if you have any interest in joining us, Joe will follow up about our other meal prep workshops. We actually have them scheduled all the way through the summer. So I know that we have, like I said, the 9th of June, and then in July we have one that is it's called cool down meals. So it's meals that are like not going to heat your whole kitchen up too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one in August is they're summer slow cooker meals. So they're all meals that you'll do in your crock pot to keep your kitchen from heating up. And it's perfect for when people go back to school. So
Very nice.
yeah. And then we'll come up with the next, like few months of meals
Right.
too. So
Cool.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I
Thank
hope
you.
Thank
that
you,
this was
Thank
Patty.
helpful.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Crystal. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, and this recording will be available. I'll get it to Joe tomorrow, and then she'll get it out to all of you.
All right.
And
Cool.
again, I hope you love the meals. Does
Right.
anybody
Thank
have
you.
any Does anybody have any questions before I stop the recording?
I don't.
Okay, you need to go
No.
get some rest, Erin.
Right.
Enjoy the rest of the day. And it was nice to meet you all, and I hope to
It
see
was
you on a
nice to
future
meet
meal
you.
prep workshop. Yes.
Right. Bye.
Bye.